Simply Scuba presents the Deco Stop Podcast.
Hi,
Sorry. Let's start that again.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Simply Scuba and welcome to the Deco Stop Podcast. I'm Mark.
Yeah, I'm Shaun. Hey guys, I'm new to the channel. How's it going?
And we're here to talk about scuba diving as well as, I don't know, My Little Pony and whatever we end up.
Hey, that was a private conversation we had before the microphone was turned on. I do not. What are they called? Bronies?
Brony, yeah.
Is it the people that love My Little Pony? Look, we haven't even talked about scuba diving yet, and we've instantly changed the subject to what we need to talk about today.
So, updates for the Simply Scuba websites. So, the first thing is that we haven't had a podcast in, 1-2 weeks?
3 weeks. So, I was
3
off.
weeks?
Yeah, I was off. Then we were going to film
I was
one,
away.
And then, but I said there's no point because then you're off the next week, so we might as well just do a clean break. Yeah, so we've missed 3 episodes. Or actually, no, why haven't you been listening, guys? Our analytics on the past 3 Deco stops have been rubbish. What are you doing? How dare you not listen to us?
So we're back, and I think we've got a fairly clean line going forward. So it'll be a weekly thing as usual, getting back into the swing of things. Okay. As far as the Simply Scuba website, not a great deal as far as like structure, but we've had a lot of new things. The first one that I'm going to talk about, as much as it hasn't arrived on the website yet, it is due today. Today recording being Friday, and that's the new Aqualung dive computer, the i330R. So this is a bit of a game changer. They're really excited about this one. We're really excited about this one. Stock is due to arrive today, so it should sort of pop up on the website. We've got some Instagram posts sort of coming up, so keep an eye out for those. And i330R is basically I call them puck-sized dive computer. They're about the size of a hockey puck. And it's basically a slightly smaller version of the i770. It's a color screen, rechargeable battery dive computer with a NATO-style strap, which is very cool. It's going to be sort of much stronger and tougher than your traditional like rubber or silicone straps, because they can like get nicks and then just rip pretty easily, especially over time. A lot of my old rubber straps, they've just fallen off my old dive computers. So but like a webbing NATO style watch strap, that's going to last forever, so that's definitely worth checking out. Apparently we have a new t-shirt design on our spring store, the merchandise. Is that the Naught Days?
No, not the Naught Days, the Kraken. I put the Kraken on there. Not that anyone bought it. It's like the coolest design we've got, and no one's bought it, so thanks, guys.
Well, it's a new design. We only uploaded it the other day.
Doesn't matter.
So it is basically a octopus sort of on the t-shirt, the Kraken. Yeah, that one of our designers here drew up. So check that out.
Also,
new
buy it.
Apex.
Buy it, because if no one buys it, we're not going to bother doing. There's no point in carrying on doing designs like that.
In putting any effort into it.
Yeah. So
hiring and paying designers for it.
Exactly. There is one other design that's going to go live probably within the next week or so. Okay. But yeah, just buy it. Thanks.
There's no finesse to it. It's just buy it.
Yeah, I told you, mate. I'm in one of these moods today. Just buy it. Just do it. Spend your money.
And we work in marketing. So a bunch of new Apex stuff has dropped on the Simply Scuba website. So the 60-meter Ascend reel, so that's the Lifeline Ascend reel, styled off like motorbikes and like stealth aircraft and stuff. It is very cool. If you're in the market for a new reel, then check them out. The daddy of the Lunar torch range, the Apex Lunar ADV, has arrived, so that you get a very fancy aluminium Goodman handle that's fully adjustable. So if you want a super uber powerful torch, compact torch with decent burn times, factory sealed as well, so you never have to worry about greasing O-rings or changing batteries or something. You just plug it in and that recharges. Then check out the Lunar ADV. WSX 25, so that's a side mount BCD. The 25 is the kind of slimmed down version of the 45. I think the 25 wasn't available here in the UK for a while because they basically thought, well, if you're side mount diving in the UK, you're going to need the 45 wing for the extra buoyancy. But then they realised that scuba divers travel, so I think they've opened up the. I know. It's one size fits all, so fully customizable. You can sort of do all sorts of clever things with the harness, but it comes with the 25. Is that 25 pound or 25 kilo? I can't remember. I think it's 25 pound wing. So if you're into your side mount diving, check that out. A bunch of new sort of little accessories from Best Divers. The main one that I sort of picked out was the tank mesh. So nylon mesh netting that goes over your tank, and that just protects it from all the usual bumps and scrapes. But it's not like that annoying plastic stuff that you have to like fold over and it gets in the way. No, you just kind of like tie it at the top, and it protects both the shoulders, the body, and the bottom of your tank. And you can sort of squeeze your tank boot over the top of it as well. So it's nice and seamless, looks nice and sort of neat, and it just sort of helps to get a grip on that sort of cam band as well. So check those out if you're in the market. Tools, a new brand to the Simply Scuba website that don't make any tools, they make towels. I don't know whether this is a typo, but I imagine not. But they do all sorts of like changing ponchos for adults and children. So yeah, if you're sort of on the boat, between dives, you know what it's like. You're taking off your 5mm and the wind just cuts straight through you. So you throw the poncho on over the top of it, then you can take your wetsuit off, and you stay sort of nice and warm, and it dries you off as well. And also
they're actually called tools. I'm on the Surf Dome website, our sister company.
Yeah, that was a joke, Sean. Maybe that was my deadpan.
No, like what? Yeah, I know what you mean, but I was just saying that's a really for people for the company, great name, original. For everyone else, why, what? Unless it's like
I don't know. I'm just looking into it now,
and it's
just
their
to see.
Initials.
I can't even find their website.
Welcome.
I'll look it up later. I'm sure there's a reason. It's going to be something like Apex, where each of the letters is the initials of the founding fathers or something.
It's either that or their marketing person was dyslexic, and that's how they think they spell towels.
It's
Maybe
just autocorrect.
Yeah. Grammarly, curse you!
Here we go. So it's Tools Surf Australia. Let me see if I can find.
Maybe they actually made tools,
page.
surf tools. Do you need a wrench for when you go surfing?
You might find every poncho is supplied. With like a spanner. No. So Tools is one of the original and best-selling surf accessory brands in Japan. Okay.
And now England.
Yeah. So they're designed by surfers for surfers. They're made with typical Japanese attention to quality and design. They offer a range of innovative and novel surf hardware solutions. TLS, Tools Surf Productions, launched in Australia in Christmas 2008. It doesn't say why they're called. No.
It's just quite maybe when they originated, they actually make them out of recycled tools. So they melt them down, and the towels are actually metal.
I doubt it. Anyway, so they're on the website.
Cool.
And finally, we have the Aqualung Argonaut knife back on the website, which I'll talk about a little bit later. So on to Simply Scuba's social media channel updates. Over to you, Sean.
Hey guys, I'm Sean, new to the channel. Hope everyone's all right today. Thank you for Mark for hiring me and enabling me to shut up, Sean, get on with it. So YouTube, I just want to thank everyone again for Ask Sean. Again, I know I said it in the video, but I actually wasn't expecting many questions. So the fact that I got 6 was just awesome. So thank you very much for that. And it's nearly hit 1,000, whoop, 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 which is 1,000 more than I thought it would get, which is absolutely fantastic. So thank you very much for that. So the dive brief, obviously, Mark was away, so that's taken a bit of a had a week or so off, which is fine. It's allowed to do that, which is cool. But basically, we're going to be updating it. So back in the day, we used to do comparison videos. So the dive brief is going to start doing them a bit, and also as well, we're going to do like potential budget stuff, aren't we? So if you've got X amount of money, this is what you can get for your money, whether you're looking at regs, dive computers, and that sort of thing. So if you have any, if you're looking at a dive computer, or if you're like, right, I've got 300 quid, what dive gear can I get for 300 quid that would kit me out? And then again, we can use that, whether it's for beginners, cave divers, you know what I mean? So we're going to try and beef up that series, which is very exciting. So so what might happen is there might be a couple of dive briefs where they're generic. There might be a pause, and then that's when we film some serious stuff. Basically, it's ongoing, but yeah, we're going to be updating that to really beef that series up because everyone seems to like it. And again, it aims at our website as well, which is a win-win as well. And also as well, the vote. So now we are back, or Mark is back, should I say. The vote is now live. So get your voting. So head over to our community tab on our YouTube channel, and you can vote for next week's surface interval. So the 3 we've got on votes at the moment is how scuba diving will change your life, the most common diving mistakes, and never go scuba diving when ... part 2. And let me just hit refresh. So at the moment, most common diving mistakes is winning by 48%. Second, we have how scuba diving will change your life. It will get you wet. You're wetter, should I say, generally at 34, and then never go scuba diving when ... part 2 is on 18. So yeah, I'm pretty safe. That most common diving mistakes, which is a really good general thing anyway.
I'm fairly confident that I can start writing that now, knowing that it'll win.
Well, the thing is, the only common ones we've got are aimed at new divers, so this one's quite good for new and old divers. So yeah. Anyway, so just head over to our community tab. It's there. It's waiting for your vote. So yeah, check that out. So that's YouTube. Nothing else really is happening on YouTube. It's all systems go, business as usual. I mentioned it in Ask Mark. There might be a lull in product reviews because obviously Mark was off. We had a bit of a backlog, and now we've caught up with ourselves. So as of now, really, there won't be there won't be product reviews for maybe another week or so, just so we can get our backlog back up. Instagram, got nothing for you there. Same old. I'm changing, like I've said many times, I'm changing it to more of a lifestyle like it was before, just to get more engagement, and that seems to be working, but there's really nothing to mention there. So podcast wise as well, now you might have noticed that the times haven't changed, but when the video of the podcast go live has changed. So surface interval, deep dive, and Ask Mark go live the first day or the same day as it does on YouTube and on Instagram, but it is earlier, so it's 10 a.m, which is earlier as well. And the Deco Stop, which normally goes live on a Saturday at 10 a.m, will now go live at 7 a.m, so it doesn't clash with the surface interval. So you get double podcasts on a Saturday, which is quite nice. You can listen to us rant and talk about ponies, My Little Pony, and other weird diving stuff on your Saturday morning, and then Saturday afternoon, jump in and there'll be a surface interval there. And again, they go live before they do on Instagram and on YouTube, which is really, really cool. And that's it for social. Like I say, it's pretty thin on the ice this week, which is kind of what we want. We don't want to change too much. Business as usual is always a good step. So Mark, what latest news updates have you got?
So on to sort of the other news that we haven't done on sort of Daily Scuba News. Some of these I am going to do as my sort of proper stories next week, just because they're quite interesting. But these are just a few things that sort of caught my eye sort of whilst I was away, just kind of checking through the news. So the first one is a free diver found a lost engagement ring from a couple who were. They went to Lake Windermere here in the UK, and the poor chap, he he had like 5 different like opportunities to propose, but because of COVID and all that kind of stuff, it got delayed, it got cancelled. So he finally managed to sort of get this trip up to Windermere, and he's like, right now. So he proposes, everything goes fine, everything's great, everything's amazing. A couple of days later, they return to sort of where you popped the question to like have some proper photos taken. Only when the girl they're on a jetty, sort of out into sort of Lake Windermere, and the girl, bless her, she like gestured with her hand, and the ring just flew off, and they both saw it just plop into the water, and they could see it like twinkle down into the bottom. And they could actually see it on the bottom. So the guy's like, well, I've got to get this. So, because it was custom made as well. Diamonds, it was like sort of white gold and all that kind of stuff. So, nice engagement ring. So, he's like starting to strip off. But this is like May in the Lake District. So, he's like, it's actually kind of cold. So I think the fiance, she said, no, don't. It could be dangerous. So they're kind of like stuck there at this.
One. Come on, it couldn't be that
much. So she's like, no, don't do it. And he basically, from what I read, he went to like a nearby water sports centre to try and get like some swimming goggles or something, so at least when he got into the water he could see what was going on. He explained the situation to them, and they basically said, oh, why don't you call these guys? And they're basically a free diving duo, and they do a lot of river cleanups and obviously lake cleanups, and they said, oh, give them a call. But in his mind, like, time is of the essence, because I know where it is right now. By the time they get here, I might like forget where it is and all that kind of stuff. So he's like, oh, screw it. So he goes like wading into the water, freezing cold in like his boxer shorts or something, and of course the bottom is all just like silty, muddy. So in like kind of like walking in, stirs it all up, can't find the ring. Worst thing possible. So he calls up these freediving guys, and yeah, they turn up with their sort of freediving wetsuits, a metal detector, and one of those like panhandler. Is it panhandler? Yeah. Where they're like searching for gold. Yeah. One of those kind of sifty things. And yeah, 20 minutes, finds it. Best day ever. So yeah, lesson to be learned. If you don't know what you're doing, don't like jump in, because there was another story. One of my mates, I think that was an engagement ring or a wedding ring or something that someone had lost so nearby. He came into the dive centre, and he was talking to my mate Dave, and sort of explained it. He'd spoken to other people, scuba divers, and bear in mind that the water is like a meter deep or something. They jumped in like full scuba, fins and everything. So as soon as they like hit the bottom, all the silt just went blah, 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 and just made it even worse. So yeah, Dave, I think he found it and so like recovered it. So yeah, if you're ever in this kind of situation, don't jump in, especially if the water's cold. It could be extremely dangerous.
Also as well, like pre to that, just make sure that, I know it's hard to get your fiance's ring size, but if it flung off that easily, it must have been way too loose.
I don't know, because I've had that before with rings, and it kind of fits comfortably, and then I threw a ball for my dog, and the ring just went fwing, and oh my. Now it lives on a different finger when I wear it. But yeah, ugh. Awful feeling. But yeah, free divers save the day. And I'll do a news story on that sort of someday next week. Scientists have been looking at barnacles, trying to work out how barnacles stick to stuff so effectively, and they've managed to recreate the kind of the manner in they do it. And they basically, barnacles themselves, they use hundreds upon thousands of tiny little like filaments to kind of like stick and they then like cross weave those as well, and that's why they stick like barnacles. And yeah, scientists have managed to sort of recreate this, and it's a bit of a sort of epoxy resin type kind of setup. They put these I can't remember what the filaments were called, but these little strings, and then they use like a curing process, and then that like hardens it like concrete. Wow. And they say it's much more effective than traditional epoxy resins, and waterproof as well. So we might start to see this sort of new sticky underwater glue being made from silk as like a
Cool. What's going to happen is you've got Gorilla Glue. They're going to rebrand Barnacle Glue.
Barnacle Glue.
We're out like barnacles, mate.
Yeah, it's cool.
That is cool. I know I called them nerds, but we need more people like that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And so I'm sure the horses are going to like it as well. They're like,
yeah. So the result was an adhesive that could remain stuck to surfaces underwater even when put under stresses of up to 2.4 newtons per square millimeter.
Wow.
To try and dislodge it. So that's pretty impressive. And it ends up being very comparable to epoxies with much less material. So yeah, that's pretty cool.
Cool.
Next news story. This one comes from Florida, and this is a group who are basically turning old wetsuits into yoga mats, basically. In Florida and a lot of places around the world, obviously, as soon as you get rid of your wetsuit, it's like, well, what do I do with it? And yeah, yoga mats make sense. A lot of people are sort of getting into yoga, and it's a good sort of neoprene. It's that good sort of substrate to stand on and give you grip. So yeah,
that makes sense. That's cool. As long as I don't buy a pea-stained one, I'll be happy.
Yeah, you can tell they got this whole run of new yoga mats that came from the dive centre.
It's like a really dull grey black with these odd patches. I'm sure they dye them first, guys. I'm sure they do. Basically, what they've done is they've just cut it in half and rolled it up. Yoga mat. It's still got the arms on and stuff.
Yeah, mine's a really odd shape. Don't worry about it.
It's fine.
There's still a zipper in this one. That's fine. It's there. It's a feature.
Yeah,
it's not a fault.
It helps you with your chi and your core energy. Anyway.
Next news story comes from Sri Lanka, and they are suffering after the container ship fire last week. So there was I think there were quite a few container ship or like large ship fires last week, and this one specifically is.
You were on holiday last week. Were you running around setting fire to stuff, Mark?
No. So this was the Express Pearl, and they were transporting a lot of stuff, including 327 tons of heavy fuel oil, 56 tons of marine fuel oil, 81 containers of dangerous goods, including 28 tons of nitric acid, as well as 86 tons of plastic pellets. And the nitric acid basically caught fire, and these plastic pellets just ended up just in the water, which is the worst place for them. And because there was the crew knew about this nitric acid and they knew that it was dangerous, I think certain countries basically said, oh no, we don't want you anywhere near us, go away. And it was kind of like the default that they ended up in Sri Lankan waters, and because they were like the last country with this hot potato, they were like, what? And now they just have just all these plastic pellets just like washing up on their beaches, and they're like, oh, for crying out loud, guys, it's like, it's not as if we gave them permission to enter our country's waters, and now it's like threatening the health and livelihoods of all of our local people, and it's creating an environmental catastrophe. It's like, oh, come on, guys. So
That's bad.
Terrible story.
I just had an image of Batman the movie where he's running around the pier with a big bomb, and everyone's like, "Can I come?" He's like, "No, go away! I can't throw it
There's a whole
here.
bunch of nuns.
Sri Lanka, that's fine. Go, blow up there."
No, it's
It's terrible.
it's terrible. But it's something that they have to deal with now.
That's it.
Dealing with all these plastic pellets. It doesn't really say what they were for. It just calls them plastic pellets.
They probably get melted down and made into fleeces, because that's made out of plastic pellets. Or the dash liners for Tesla cars.
Who knows? And the final news story is an optimistic story. Blue Abyss a few days ago. If this news story sounds familiar, it's because I've reported it a couple of times already. But they found a potential new home, but this time in Cornwall. So Blue Abyss, for those of you who are either new to the diving industry or just haven't heard of them before, they're a project started, Struth, I think it was like 2014, and it's John Vickers. He has this sort of vision to create this huge complex with a gigantic pool as the central point that can be used for everything from recreational scuba diving and free diving to training astronauts, offshore training, basically testing all sorts of underwater equipment. The pool itself is going to be the size of 17 Olympic swimming pools, or hold the equivalent of sort of water, and they're planning it to have different sort of terraced stages, with the deepest point being 50 meters deep, so it would be the deepest swim pool in the world at the moment.
Yes.
I think at the moment we've got Y40, and isn't there a 44 meter deep one? I think in like Poland or somewhere. So 50 meters would sort of set it apart, but also all sorts of other sort of things on site, so training areas and sort of educational areas, so we can teach children about the marine environment and all that kind of stuff.
And Starbucks,
and
they'll probably have a Starbucks.
But yeah, basically they're looking at Cornwall. They're in discussions with Cornwall Council, and they're looking at putting it in the Aero Hub Enterprise Zone at Cornwall Airport. So there's currently a few other similar style sort of businesses in that area, but this one they're looking to sort of get like 4 plots of land, because it's going to be a big sort of project area, and yeah, they're hoping to that this is going to be the sort of the home for it, and it's finally going to go forward. It's going to be an amazing thing, sort of if and when it's finally constructed. I'm very excited to see it sort of finally come into fruition.
That's because you just want a job there. You've been dying to get a job there for God knows how many years, Mark. As long as I've known you, anyway.
It would be cool. It would be cool because I think one of the things is, because it's like training for astronauts, they're going to have all of the like sections of space, like satellites and ISS kind of like in the water, and when the astronauts aren't using it, then recreational divers can kind of like swim around it. Obviously they won't let you in it or whatever, but at least you can sort of like experience sort of being in and around that kind of sort of structure. Yeah, very cool. And
Okay,
hopefully
so I'm going to interview. So guys, Blue Abyss.
Yeah.
If you're listening to this is Mark's interview for him to work there. If you were to work at Blue Abyss, I can't even say it. Yeah, the Abyss.
Yeah.
What job role would you like, Mark?
Me? Oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
Probably like social media, something.
No.
Something to do with videos.
No. Do you know what I would do? I'd be the pool cleaner. It's your squeegee. Go down, mate. Go clean it.
Oh, no, because you'd have to do like a deco stop. Doing that 50-meter section, you're like, right, and back up.
Oh, I forgot my sponge.
Yeah.
Down we go.
I reckon they'd have to get like one of those little Roomba
They put a
robots.
regulator on a Roomba. There you go, mate.
Yeah, just throw it in down to the 50 meter. As long as it's above its crush depth, it should be fine.
Bless it.
I imagine it's going to be like Nemo 33, where you can't use your own equipment. It has to be like theirs. It has to be clean, because to filter that much fresh water is going to be a real pain.
Yeah, that's exciting.
Yeah, I'm excited to see. Yeah, and hopefully, because I was I funded it in the Kickstarter phase. Apparently, my signature is going to be on one of the, like, a glass panel somewhere.
No, that's changed now. That glass panel is in the men's toilets.
Yeah, just on the bathroom door.
Yeah, that's it. And they've actually had to recycle it, and that's actually on the urinal, so people will be weeing on your name.
All right, with a phone number saying, call this number for a good time.
That's it. That's really good news, though, because it's been going on for so long. So
and Cornwall does make sense, because especially when it's right next to the airport, because they're planning it to be as international as possible. Yeah. So different sort of space training agencies and commercial diving agencies can come and use it. Everything from, I imagine they'd try and get like Hewitt in as well, helicopter underwater escape training. Don't know. Keep an eye on it. Hopefully, this will be the final time when they have finally found a place to set up shop. It will be cool.
If not, Blue Abyss, you can dig a massive hole in Mark's back garden. I give you permission.
There's already a bit of a hole.
Exactly.
But it's
so
not 50 meters
started.
That's it.
Maybe they might be able to make it 52 meters because of the hole that's already there. Yeah. You never know.
I don't think that's how it works. But
it is. It's exactly how it works. You know,
sure
man, if you were in the race to have the deepest hole, you just send someone down there with a little shovel and dig something else, line it in. It's like, well, technically, there's a little dip. So now we're 10 centimetres deeper than we were. So,
well, that's what they did with like the Empire State Building and the Chrysler, wasn't it?
Yeah.
They kind of had these plans, and it's like, no, this is how tall our building's going to be, and then they just put an antenna on the top.
We're bigger than
there
you.
You go.
Yeah. Cool, man. So thank you very much for that scuba news, Mark. Was it nice to talk about news, because you haven't done it for like the past 2 weeks?
Yeah. It did feel a little weird getting back into the swing of things. It's like talking on camera and talking on sort of auto cue and stuff. So yeah, it's quite nice to. Oh yeah, because I've been seeing all of these like news stories and like, oh okay, yeah, that's interesting, but no one to talk to, basically.
Yeah, cool. Well, wicked. Bless you. Right, so I'm going to give you some updates. Obviously, guys, I've been doing DSM for the past 2 weeks, so no one's been watching them. But let's do some updates for the people that have. Well, not updates, people that haven't. So the first story I did was 17th century shipwrecks. So they've found these shipwrecks in Sweden last year, and they've officially been confirmed as the Apollo and the Maria. They were hoping that they were attached to a sister ship called the Vasa, which is a very popular ship in Sweden. It's apparently it's in Stockholm at the moment, for the public to see. But yeah, so they found them. But apparently, the greatest thing about these wrecks, even though they're not linked to the Vasa, they don't actually have much information on that style of warship. So the fact that they've now got 2 to analyse is really, really cool. And whilst they were doing their their documentation, doing their research on to find out what the shipwrecks were, they found actual records of other ships being scuttled nearby or potentially nearby. So yeah, basically just means that it's not opened up a can of worms, it's opened up a can of opportunity where they can find more shipwrecks, hopefully, in the area, which is awesome. Zebrafish, or however you say it, wherever you live, they are our ticket to Mars. So scientists have been researching the hibernating state that zebrafish go into, and because we share apparently 70% of the same DNA, they are hopefully going to replicate that to humans. So basically, we can have a nice long nap on our way to Mars that won't affect any of our brain functions or anything like that. So basically, we can go to sleep, have a nice rest, and wake up ready and primed to go live on Mars, for us to finally land there, and for the AirPods to bust and all those scientists die, because I've seen it in every single scientific movie, especially Total
it always
Recall,
goes well.
which I'm guessing is what Mars is going to look like as soon as we land there. Total Recall. If you know what I'm talking about, guys and girls, three. What do I want to say? How to make this piece? Three booby ladies on Mars. There we go. Doesn't matter, even though it's going to be on YouTube. I'm talking about the birds. The booby birds.
Everyone who's like under 30 is going to be thinking about the Colin Farrell one, going, what's he talking about? Mars.
Anyway, yeah, so that was cool. So yeah, hopefully, thanks to the zebrafish, we will all be hibernating when we go to Mars. When this planet dries up and we go to a drier planet, a deader planet for some reason.
No, yeah, exactly. It's like, why would you give up this planet that's already terraformed, and like try and terraform a completely inhospitable planet, when if you got the technology to transform that planet, why don't you just do it on this planet first?
Look, yeah, the whole reason why God created zebrafish was for us to go to Mars, Mark, so shut up. Thanks.
Yeah.
Scuba divers as well have been infecting coral, so nice one, guys. So
allegedly. Allegedly.
No, they have.
It's official.
It's official. I made it official. Daily Scuba News. Yeah. So basically, there's what was the actual official name of it? It's a long word. I'm not.
Yeah. Yeah, the acronym's like 5 letters long.
But basically, so basically, people. What was the dive site? I'm really bad with this one.
It's so the Grand Caymans.
Huh?
It was it Grand Cayman Islands, wasn't it?
Yeah. So basically, there was this dive site in the Grand Cayman Islands that had this disease that kills off coral unless it's elk or staghorn. They seem to thrive on that stuff. And basically, people dive that site, then they've gone and dived. Or they've gone, it's not even divers as well, it's even if your boat goes there, the infectious disease can latch onto the bottom of your boat, then you go to another dive site and basically kill all that coral. So at the moment, if you go into those wrecks, you have to disinfect all your gear. Also as well, they're making specialists put an antibiotical cream on the coral to stop the spread. But if it keeps getting any worse, you probably won't even be able to go to that site until they've actually managed to control it. And the most worrying thing is that one of the most popular dive sites, I can't remember what it was called, but yeah, basically they are now showing signs of this infection on one of the most popular dive sites in the Caymans. So it's not looking good, basically.
So it started in Florida.
Yeah.
In 2014, stony coral tissue loss disease, or SCTLD.
Yes.
Doesn't really roll off the tongue, but that's what it is. And yeah, it's just spreading, and it can sort of live in the bilge tank in your boat. So
it's horrible, and and also as well, so you have to disinfect your gear, and also they've been advised. They've not told them that this is law, but if you charter there. They're advising that if you're going to an infection area, that if you want to go to another site, it has to also be infected. You don't go to an infected area then to a fresh new site, because then you're going to infect that area. If it carries on, which by the sounds of things they're probably going to shut down those sites and say, no, you can't go there. We've got to sort this out.
Yeah.
Try and nip it in the bud. Yeah,
it's been reported in Mexico, Jamaica, St. Martin, St. Thomas, and the US Virgin Islands. So they really need to get on top of it.
Yeah, definitely. Ugh. Yeah, I know. And lastly but not leastly, in Australia, a ghost shark, or should I say more of an albino, is it a nurse shark off the top of my head, has been spotted. So they went to a dive site where you can't really dive that much, or if you're an everyday diver you can't, because the conditions are pretty bad. And then, but basically, a bunch of divers went there, and they basically, one of them managed to capture some footage of a ghost shark. Didn't think much of it when he went to the surface and went to the dive crews. Oh, look what I spotted! And they were like, "Holy cow, Batman!" Those were their exact words. That's a ghost shark or an albino. It's like an albino. It's not a tiger, nurse shark, I believe, and which apparently in that area is super rare. In fact, it's so rare that is the only. That's the first recorded one in Australia, or definitely in that area in Australia. So scientists, researchers, marine biologists are super excited because as well, even though it was juvenile, and a lot of the juvenile ghost sharks tend to die because, they can't camouflage themselves because they're bright white. They have a tendency of getting eaten or just generally dying. But this one, even though it was juvenile, it's said to be quite a fairly old, maybe like a teenager. It's 13, 14. So they were
adolescent.
An adolescent. They were quite excited by that. And that was my news, really. That's my news for that week.
If you search online for Ghost Shark, it comes up with a 2013 horror movie, because of course. It only has 29% on Rotten Tomatoes.
We should do a reaction video of us watching that, Mark, and release it on the website.
The synopsis is: a coastal town is plagued by a supernatural man-eating shark. A ghost hunter joins forces with a sea captain to uncover the secret of the area's dark past and find a way to exorcise the spectral predator. Okay.
So what?
Oh, the original network was Sci-Fi.
Is it like Casper the Friendly Ghost, but it's Casper the Friendly, the man-eating shark?
Kind of.
I'm a ghost.
Yeah. No spoilers, but yeah, I imagine it's just a ghost great white shark.
It's Bruce too.
Oh, and he can survive out of the water.
Of course he can. Grows legs, Little Mermaid.
I don't know. I'll see if I can get a hold of a copy, and that'll be quite fun to watch.
Cool. Anyway, that's my updates. Let's move on to something a bit more fun.
Scuba related.
Yeah, scuba diving. Mark, what is your product of the week?
So my product of the week is that Aqualung Argonaut knife. So every diver needs some kind of cutting device on every dive. I always dive with one. It's one of those tools that you pray that you'll never have to need it, but as long as you have one, you can get yourself out of a lot of sketchy situations. And this is kind of the only large dive knife that I'm kind of in favour of. Most of my dive knives, they're either Z line cutters or I have the little DIR zone sort of serrated knife. I mean, my biggest knife is was a Green River, but that's for cutting through ghost nets and stuff. And that is it's like a bread knife basically. But for more recreational diving, if you need a decent sized dive knife that you kind of want to cut through something substantial, then the Argonaut is definitely worth checking out. And there's a few reasons why. The first thing is that it's a single piece of solid titanium. So instead of stainless steel, even if it's like 316 or whatever stainless steel, steel will always rust if you don't look after it, whereas titanium can't rust. It's a lot lighter, so despite it being a proper sized dive knife, it doesn't weigh that much, and it's also nice and strong. They've PVD coated it as well, so it's protecting that titanium from oxidization and other problems. It's very simple, stripped down. It doesn't have any sort of like moving parts or separate sections. It's just that one section of titanium. They've used paracord to give you a bit of a handle. If you don't want the handle, you can take that off. Underneath that, it actually has several sort of hex sections, so you can use it as a sort of a makeshift spanner if you need to in an emergency. The sheath itself is made out of Kydex, which is a fancy word for plastic. It's like a heat formed plastic, and they heat form the knife inside of it, so it naturally sits inside of it, and that like holds it in position. But when you need to get the knife out, if you give it a good enough tug, it'll come free. But there's no like mechanism, there's no button that you have to press, there are no moving parts. It just sits in there neatly until you need it. And then you can just pop it back in without having to worry about, oh, did that click into place? It's just boom, yes, it's in. And it has all sorts of different mounting options. So if you want to attach it to your leg, attach it to your arm, attach it to a belt, or wherever you want to put it, you can sort of do it. Two different options on this. You get the blunt chisel tip, which is a pretty useful sort of tool. You can use it as like an emergency flathead screwdriver or a pry bar. Don't use it as a pry bar, but if you're in a pinch, you can. It's not what the knife is made for, designed to do. So if it breaks, it's on you, but it's there if you're in an emergency and you really need it. There's the Spartan.
Does not recommend that you use this as a pry bar. Thank you very much, bye.
I have to do all that kind of stuff because it's
take responsibility for your actions. Thanks, bye.
Exactly, yeah. So there's kind of like all these things that I kind of like really want to say about these products, but then there's that liability that you have to kind of think about in the future, in the matter of, well, yeah, you could use it as this, but there is a high chance that it's going to break. Yeah. So you could use it, but don't.
You could use it as a lightsaber, but don't.
Well, yeah, it's like if it's a life and death situation and you need to get yourself out of a shipwreck or something, then yes, but there is a chance that it's going to break, so do be careful. It's not what it's designed or intended to do. The hilt of it, the butt of the knife, is actually sort of made into a point, which is a glass breaker as well. So if you need to, you can use that to break glass windows. Yeah, there's the Spartan tip as well, which is kind of pointed, but it's not too stabby basically.
When you wrote the description for that, I hope you put stabby in there. This blade is not too stabby.
It's not in there. But yeah, it's definitely worth checking out if you want like a proper size dive knife with a decent amount of serration on one side to cut through like fishing gear and whatnot. Then yeah, definitely check out the Aqualung Argonaut titanium dive knife, and of course check it out on simplyscuba.com.
That's the only place you're ever going to find it. If you find it in any other scuba diving retailer, then knockoffs.
Yeah, ours is that's a lie. But ours is a limited edition. It will be the only Aqualung Argonaut dive knife that will arrive in a Simply Scuba box.
Cool. Or an Internet Fusion box.
Oh yeah, it probably will be Internet Fusion.
Yeah.
On the label.
There we go though. Limited edition, guys. We've only got 20,000 of them in our warehouse. Buy now.
Yeah.
No, that's cool though. I'm really annoyed though, Mark, that Aqualung never went through their prototype. You know when fidget spinners were a thing? I remember Aqualung coming up with the Argonaut fidget spinner knife. Blunt tip.
Good Lord.
Never caught on.
No, it's all to do with the friction of the water.
Oh, that was it.
It just
nothing else.
Just doesn't spin in the water. No,
just didn't work. They couldn't get the ball bearings greased enough.
No.
Right, swiftly moving on before we get a lawsuit from Aqualung. This week's question.
Could you stop talking about our products, please?
The UK government suck, and they can't make up their mind on what places you should go to. So we were originally going to talk about Portugal dive sites, and we were allowed to go there, and if you want to go out diving, go here to Portugal. This is really good. And then last night they decided to put a big old steaming turd on that story. So thank you very much. So we are going to talk about Greenlist updates. So we're going to go through what is Greenlist, whether we actually can travel even though it is Greenlist, and potentially if there's any cool dive sites in those areas. So Mark, Greenlist update, what on earth is going on? Where can we go and where can we dive, please? Thank you.
So
love you.
This is where it gets really complicated, because as much as stuff is on our green list doesn't mean that we can travel to that country. So the current green list for the UK is Australia, and Australia from UK. So destination is closed to entry. So as much as we can leave the UK for Australia, they won't let you in.
Fantastic.
Apparently. So that's off the list. The next one is Brunei, which seems okay. And there is scuba diving in Brunei. So yeah, if you really want to sort of travel to Brunei, it's kind of like Malaysia, Indonesia type sort of area, the sort of South China Sea. So yeah, there'll be sort of scuba diving around there. So Brunei, the Falkland Islands. I don't know if there's much. Let's have a look. It's Falkland Islands scuba diving. Is there a lot to dive?
There's a pool. I told you.
I'd take my dry suit. There is.
There you go.
Yeah. So if you want to, I mean, they are like off Argentina, so it's going to be fairly cold water. But yeah, you can go to the Falkland Islands, and that's a long kind of flight from the UK. The Faroe Islands.
You have to be a pharaoh to go to that island.
Very different from Egyptian pharaohs.
No, they're not, Mark.
But the Faroe Islands does have some diving. Again, it's cold water because that's like North Sea. Yeah, I'd bring my dry suit. Gibraltar has some nice diving, so definitely worth checking out. Can we travel? So you require a COVID test on arrival. So yes, you can go to Gibraltar. You just have to have something shoved up your nose, unfortunately.
No, Gibraltar, they stick at the other end.
Iceland. If you want to do Silfra Lake, you can visit Iceland. I can't see any regulations on sort of coming in. I imagine you might have to do something. Israel and Jerusalem.
I would personally not touch that with a barge pole, but personal preference with what's going on right now.
I think you can. I think you can get there. There don't seem to be any, or there's no red flags when I sort of search for it. I've never really thought about Israel scuba diving, but I don't see why not. It's like sort of Mediterranean, isn't it? Near the Red Sea. So yeah, there is scuba diving spots in Israel. New Zealand. New Zealand, I mean, yes, there is going to be scuba diving, but I don't think they... no, destination closed to entry. So no, cross that off the list. Portugal is currently on the green list, but it's going to move to the amber list 4 a.m. on Tuesday the 8th of June. So yeah, Portugal does have some nice sort of diving, especially down on the sort of the south coast. Yeah,
I guess you could do a long weekend, get there, do a dive, come home, but then you're going to have to contend with everyone wanting to come back.
But also you have to quarantine at home or in the place that you're staying for 10 days, take a COVID test on or before day 2 of your trip and on or after day 8.
It's not worth it then, is it?
Yeah, no, not really. Singapore you can go to. Singapore from the UK. Destination closed on entry, so no, that's off the list.
Why is he on the list? This is so stupid.
Yeah, South Georgia and South Sandwich Islands.
Did you know, Mark, the South Sandwich, they were the guys that invented the bottom part of the sandwich.
So these are, open to travel from what I can see. I don't know if there's much scuba diving. You'll probably see some penguins, which is pretty cool.
Penguins are cool. Penguins, mate.
They are.
Might even be better than scuba diving.
Diving in South Georgia and the South Sandwich Islands. There's a PADI page on it, because of course there is.
Of course.
I don't think it's a speciality or anything.
Oh, you know they're going to do that now. Specialities in locations. If they don't do that already.
Is this water temperature or just air temperature? Apparently the air temperature in May, it just says temperature, is 32 Fahrenheit. I have no idea what that is in real money. 32 Fahrenheit.
10? I don't even know, mate.
It's 0 degrees Celsius, so it's quite cold there at the moment. Dry suit territory.
No,
that's why there are penguins.
Rash vest. Man up.
Rash vest and board shorts.
Yeah.
But yeah, there are definitely some dive sites to check out. And that's the green list. St Helena, Ascension Islands, and Tristan da Cunha. Kanha. From
Kuna.
UK. No red flags. So yeah, they're kind of in the like South Atlantic off the coast of Africa. I mean, I say off the coast. It's like almost in the middle of South America and Africa. I think there is diving there because I looked that up earlier.
There has to be diving. Anyway, as Mark does those research bits, if you guys and girls
there's like
have been to any of
centers.
these areas for diving, let us know in the comments if it's good or not. So then maybe we can get other people to go diving there and also help our economy and help their economy as well.
I think the main like takeaway from this is just go diving here at home.
Yeah, because by the time you'll be on a flight there, you know, let's go to Singapore. Fantastic, diving's lovely. Oh no, like we're an hour in the flight, they have to make a U-turn because you're no longer on the list, and you have to do 10 years quarantine.
It's also kind of better to just like let's try and reduce travel at the moment. Let's like get all this over and done with. Make it less international, and then once everything dies down, then we can go scuba diving abroad again. But for the time being, let's try and embrace like local scuba diving.
There we go, guys. That's Deco Stop. This is the Greenlist. Don't bother going. Dive home. That's the video. Thanks for watching. Safe local diving.
Yeah, I'll update my signature at the end of everything. Safe local diving, everybody. But I think that's the main takeaway.
Yeah,
because as much as, I mean, the amber list. So what is it? So before you travel, you have to have like COVID tests, complete a passenger locator form. On arrival in England, you must quarantine at home for at least 10 days and do all this. And it is just, oh no, it's true.
Too much fun.
But yeah, I mean, the amber list is fairly big. You've got quite a lot of places. Yeah. But actually, no, I'd rather just, go to my local dive centre. Just say, hey, I kind of want to get into cold water. Can you do like a dry suit course or sort of get into semi-dries or something? Because there is a lot of amazing diving here. Even if it is like the inland lakes, there are amazing inland lakes. Stuff from Stony Cove, Andark, Capernwray, Endak, Vobster. Yeah, we got a lot of amazing internal sort of dive sites where you don't have to worry about the weather blowing it off. You don't have to worry about currents or tides or anything because they're lakes. It's fresh water, so you don't have to worry about salt. So yeah, just try out local diving. At least try it. Now that the sun has finally sort of blessed us and come back.
This week is our summer, and then it's back to grey, wet rain.
I think my lawn could do with a bit of rain. It's looking a bit knackered. It's gone from that like long winter to just like blistering heat with nothing. Yeah. And now it's just kind of like, oh my god, gasping.
Coffee grounds. You have a French press, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Rather than putting the coffee granules in the bin, just put it on your lawn. It'll help it.
Oh, okay.
That's what I do, and it hasn't died yet, so. It's actually quite exotic, my lawn. It has Colombia, Guatemala.
I also read somewhere that burning coffee grounds is quite good to deter mosquitoes. Although my other half, my wife now.
Yeah, I was going to say, your ball and chain. Your better half, you have to say. Your better half.
It's all right, she doesn't listen to this. She despises coffee. She doesn't like the smell of it. So.
And you married her? That's a deal breaker for me. If it wasn't for coffee, I'd be dead.
I don't think I can convince her to for me to burn coffee grinds. Oh, it's for the mosquitoes to get rid of their because they only attack me. They don't attack her. I think it's my blood group.
It's either that or no. What you have to do, you burn the coffee grounds and you just got to rub them on you while they're still hot.
All the hair on my body has disappeared, but I haven't been bitten by insects.
Yeah. My skin is boiling, but I did that with my AeroPress the other day. I've got a lovely AeroPress. I'm slightly addicted to it, and I got rid of the I got rid of the coffee in my coffee ground, and before I put my AeroPress in the sink, there's some coffee residue, so I just put my thumb on the end of the plunger and wiped it, and I was like, that's still really hot in the boiling water. I literally, I swear, I blistered up for a bit, and I was like, all I did was wipe my thumb on the plunger to get rid of the excess.
and then you rub the coffee on your gums like a cocaine addict.
Yeah. Yeah, when I meant lawn, I meant my nose. For the got a bit of Colombian up my nose.
No, I'll try that out on the lawn.
Yeah.
Because there's who knows. It'll make the garden and my dog's paws smell of coffee. So yeah, that's fine by me.
Ooh. There we go, guys. Actually, we ended Deco Stop talking about coffee.
Coffee,
Boom.
My dog's feet.
We're back, people. We are back. And that is it. So basically, round up, buy the Argonaut titanium knife. You buy our Kraken t-shirt, or I'm going to delete the website and the everything. And that's going to be your fault, guys. Hey, head of marketing. And don't forget to check out simplyscuba.com. If you're in the market for a new dive computer, that Aqualung i300 is definitely worth considering, because for the price point, it's going to be a very competitive. They're basically going up against the Shearwater Petrel. So like a recreational color screen. So the Aqualung have gone like, right, we need to sort of make something to defeat this. That's
which is
be
good for you, the
task.
consumer. You get some choices. Yeah. But the i330R does look pretty cool. I think I'm getting a sample of it probably next week by now to do a video. So stay tuned for that. We'll make it go live as soon as I get my grubby little mitts on it. If you have any specific questions about it, if you want me to show you anything specific in the video, let us know in. Oh, this doesn't really have comments. Does this go on YouTube?
It does go on YouTube, so put it in the comments.
so...
But I was going to say, Mark, why don't you do, when you get your hands on it, a little DSN, and then do a proper
that's a
review?
good idea.
That would be good.
Yes. Yeah, I can do that. I can definitely do that. Any other scuba diving equipment, don't forget to head over to simplyscuba.com. If something's a little bit pricey for your taste, then of course remember we always have Klarna finance, so 0% finance, all sorts of different sort of buying options. So either it's like offsetting, if it's over a certain price, then you can sort of offset your payment for 30 days, just so that you know you can try it and sort of see if you like it. If you don't like it, you return it. If you do like it, then you have 30 days to pay for it. Or if it's more expensive, you can chop it up into 3 separate chunks and then pay those chunks off as you please. Just makes it a little bit easier nowadays. If you do have any just scuba diving related questions, queries, comments, whatever, try and use the hashtag #AskMark on any of our comment sections anywhere on the websites, and we'll get to those. We'll answer them in the Friday Ask Mark. If you have any sort of questions on hiking, social media, brony life, just use the hashtag Ask Shaun.
I told you that confidence,
Mark. He'll be happy to answer those questions. And there's a new paragraph in the outro. Do you want me to read that out?
No, that's actually my blurb. I was going to delete that and start typing, but I didn't want to distract you. So ignore what Mark just said. That does not exist on the podcast. That's just for my little blurb that goes on the podcast, the description.
Anyway, so any sort of questions, queries, or whatever, try and use the hashtag #AskMark, and then that just makes it a lot easier for us when we're sort of looking to write and film it. It just bumps your questions up to the top of the list. And that's it. Thank you for listening, everybody. If you're watching this on YouTube, you can't see us. You can just see like a little sort of graphic on the screen. So thank you for watching, but mainly for listening, and safe diving.
Cool, man. Yeah. There was one quick thing I want to add. I know we're overrunning. Like I said before, dive brief. If you've got any things where you want to do comparisons, let us know in the comments. If there's anything that you want to know, like budget-wise, let us know, and we'll make the videos, basically. But yeah, anyway, thanks for watching, guys, and stay classy, scuba divers.
The Deco Stop podcast is produced and recorded by Simply Scuba, the UK's #1 dive store. Visit today at simplyscuba.com.